Spontaneous. If you don't know what spontaneous is, it's all in the title. It's about a group of high school students, and all of a sudden, one of them spontaneously combusts, and then more of them do. What?
Is that why it's called Spontaneous?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. But it's also a coming of age romance too. So it's kind of, it's a horror romance. And this movie is excellent. Excellent. If you want to talk about just like, I'm coming close to saying it is perfect in this respect. The balance of having the fun, entertaining horror vibe of a pick 'em off kind of movie where one by one the characters that die, and also something that has something very, very important to say about how we process mortality and live our daily lives. This might be it. I thought I was going to like it going into it because I was looking forward to this, but I was just like above and beyond impressed by how well this works.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I was drawn to it, written and directed by Brian Duffield of The Babysitter and other projects, but I'm just going to go with The Babysitter, which I adore, and adapted from a YA novel. So it is coming at you hard. All the marketing materials are coming at you hard initially from the YA perspective. So to me, it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to give this a try. I have no aversion to YA, but you're going to have to do a lot to win me over. And not only does it do the things you said, where all the mortality things are fantastic, the spontaneous there's no metaphor. It's literally about the spontaneousness of life. We cannot predict what happens. We cannot do these things. Also, it's really good about processing grief, and it's really good about showing broken characters and how, like halfway through the movie, a main character becomes an alcoholic because she has no idea how to comprehend with the fact that her friends are dying around her and she's alive and why. And it doesn't show alcoholism as anything fun. It shows it as something natural. It's just the quickest thing she goes to, but it also lets her really stew in that depression, and it kind of emphasizes it. And it's not one of these YA movies or teen movies where like drinking looks fun. Like, no, when it's used in such a way that it is used in this film, it's laid out on the table and you feel this character's hurt and pain so much. Like, more than I think any movie that I felt, because a true testament to me is I put it on Saturday morning thinking it was going to be a lighthearted watch, thinking it was going to be some goofy horror comedy. And I ended up just like, I'm like sobbing at the end during her monologue. I am just like broken down going like, oh my God, I felt every one of these words.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I know Katherine Langford has already had some success. You don't need me to tell you that she is a good actor, but I think this movie, and granted, I haven't seen Cursed. I haven't watched all of 13 Reasons Why. I watched a little of it, but this to me just encapsulates her star power and her ability to lead, and also her great range. This is a phenomenal showcase for her. And also, Charlie Plummer is something else too. I've been following him for quite a while. I caught one of his movies at Tribeca a while back, King Jack, and I'm like, that kid's gonna be something.
Oh, King Jack's great. King Jack's great.
I love King Jack. And also just the two of them together, their chemistry is just so charming and infectious. I couldn't get enough of it. I would watch this movie if it was like 4 hours long and gave me more time with them.
But then it hits you hard, though. And that's what I love about Spontaneous, is the fact that it's going to give you the YA romance, and it's going to play with these young teen arcs and teen romance angles, but it's going to sucker punch you throughout. It's going to use these kids' deaths as not only the slasher kind of element, like you said before, not only the horror element of watching somebody die and explode on screen, which is graphic and shown. It's also using the death of kids to, as you said before, this movie has a lot to say, and it is saying it from an adolescent standpoint, looking at our world and addressing our world and being like, yo, it's time for a mutiny. Like, it's not even just like we're screwed. Like, literally, like this movie is like a rebel yell in the way that it's like, these are kids who are seeing their friends die around them. You can make direct parallels to gun violence in America and direct parallels to school shootings and how they are shooed off by certain people in our government and no one pays attention to them. And right here we have a movie about how that's affecting our youth and our adolescent population and what they are going through. And it is so good. It's so good.
And this movie was made a little while ago, but there are so many things in it that, given our current situation with a pandemic and quarantine and the talk of, finding ways to cure COVID. I mean, there's a lot of like trigger elements in this that are going to make you rethink what we're going through right now. And, that wasn't intended. They didn't know this was going to happen, but the 1-2 punch of that is very effective. Another element of this that I really loved how they handled was the parents, in particular, Piper Perabo playing Katherine Langford's character's mother. That was just, it was like an unusually internal struggle for a mother, whereas I feel like most movies have had, like a bigger performance. And I think because she had such a sad expression on her face and was so perfectly framed, like my eye kept getting drawn to her, and I kept hurting for her, even when she wasn't the focal point or the loudest voice in the room.
And it's great too, because Rob Hewell plays the father, Piper's obviously husband. And I love the scene where you have Katherine Langford's character, who is deep in her depression. She has basically given into nihilism and doesn't care anymore because everyone's dying. We're all going to die. Who cares? So she has this scene where she is making her, like, I forget what she calls it, but it is her spontaneous combustion cocktail. And she's shit canned. And her dad is just watching her. And it's this human moment of the father looking and going, I don't know what to tell you because your grief is valid. How you were dealing with it, we all have to deal some way, and I'm not going to tell you it's wrong because I don't know what you're experiencing. And it's not one of these gotcha moments where the dad punishes the daughter or anything. He sits there just to make sure she's safe in what she's doing and allows her to process things how she can, because how are you supposed to process something that no one else can deal with? One of the best lines of the whole film is kind of like Katherine Langford looking at her parents going like, well, you can't say you had it harder than what my generation did. And both parents are like, no, we can't. Holy shit. Like, it's just that admission. That admission is so good.
And that was a weird thing to hear, especially right now, because where my mind went was immediately connecting the dots to her saying it in this movie to all of the kids out there who maybe can turn to their parents and say, like, I don't know what any individual has gone through, but given what certain kids are growing up with right now, they can make a case for that being true to them too. And it's just, this is way more power. It is fun. This is a highly entertaining movie, but it was way more powerful and poignant than I ever expected it to be.
It's not bullshit. It's not fake. It really has something to say, and it says it well.
Yep.
That's it.
I'm going to go first with this Dewey Decimovie scale because I freaking loved it. I'm giving it 4.5 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimovie scale. I can't wait to rewatch it. I love every element of this movie. And it's one of those things where, like, I live in a family full of horror lovers. I feel like I can go and recommend this to my sister. And I also feel like my mom would like it too. And given how close I am with my family, when I can do that, it excites me even more. So I am beyond thrilled to watch this over and over.
I got 4 Deweys. I feel like our scale is pretty on point, just if we adjust them. So, like, I think my 4 Deweys is your 4.5.
I'll take that. And I'll tack on a shameless plug. One of my next episodes of Collider Ladies Night, it's in the can already, so I could say it and not jinx it, is with Katherine Langford. And she's super cool. I've known her from Stardom, so I've basically only known like surface level things about her.
Nice.
Early inspirations and her journey to getting those big roles. And she's super thoughtful and passionate about her craft, and it made for a really great conversation. So do check that out.